Yo, what up, what up? 300 to freedom, baby. You already know what it is. I'm about to share something with you that is extremely important. Something that once you understand these principles, you're going to be able to apply it to your life and see almost immediate manifestation. But you gotta apply all of it. You can't just take certain laws and leave out other laws. It ain't gonna work for you if you do that. But before we start the topic, not without further ado, before we start the topic at hand, make sure to go stream my music on all streaming platforms. I would really appreciate that. Some of you probably know I make hip hop music. Some of you probably don't, but I do make hip hop music as well. All you gotta do is search my name, Jadis on any music streaming platforms. The way to spell that name is Jaydis space Crete. So we're gonna get right into it, right? What we're gonna be talking about in this video are 12 extremely important principles that when you apply these principles, you're gonna be able to manifest the things you want in your life with more ease. I'm not saying you're not gonna have no challenges. I'm not gonna say that you're not gonna have no more downs in your life. I can't make those claims. But what I can say is that applying these 12 universal laws are gonna change your life. You gotta know this, right? Like there's no way you could be a part of the 300 to Freedom movement or part of the 300 to Freedom Club and not know these 12 laws right here, because these are the 12 laws of manifestation. Now, when it comes to the Hermetic principles, right, there are 7 laws, but we're not necessarily going to talk about the Hermetic principles in this video. We'll talk about that in a later video. But the Hermetic principles focus on seven laws, where I'm going to talk to you about 12 of them, which I guess if you want to make it concise and you want to compact it, then yeah, you could break it down to only 7 laws. But I'm going to present it to you, giving it to you with 12 laws so that you can understand it in its totality, right? So these are the 12 universal laws of manifestation. These are the 12 universal laws of the universe. These are the 12 universal laws that, when applied, can really drastically change the course of your life for the better. Once you understand these laws, you will have more wisdom. You'll have more understanding of life and all that good stuff. Actually, I sent out an email about this shit earlier on. I sent out an email about this to my list earlier on. Let me open up the email real quick. Hold on, I'm opening up the email. If you're not on my email list, you're missing out. You are missing out on some extremely important information. You're missing out on money getting secrets. You're missing out on manifestation secrets. You're missing out on new music that I release. You're missing out on new albums that I release if you're not on my email list. If you want to be a part of my email list, all you got to do is check out the links in the description below this video. And you click on the link that says, the one that says something about getting my ebook, right? The one that talks about the ebook that's going to teach you how to get fans. Even if you're not a musician, even if you don't make music, it don't matter. Make sure to click that link and subscribe to that ebook, because that is going to be the quickest way you could get a part of my email list, all right? So I sent out an email about these very 12 principles earlier on, and I wanted to do a video about it, talking about these 12 principles, because I'm telling you right now, these 12 principles will change your life. These 12 gems right here will change your life. I wish I knew about these laws sooner. I wish I knew about these laws when I was like in high school, when I was like 13 years old coming up. I wish I was studying these laws, because when you get these laws down to a science, you'll have a better perspective on life. You're going to have more understanding about how life works, and you're not always going to look at things from a negative lens. you start to have more acceptance about certain things in life, and you can flow with life more. Instead of going against the current of life, you can flow with the current of life and manifest your dreams, manifest the things you want on a much higher scale, and do it with ease. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point of these 12 universal laws. Like, we got to understand this stuff, right? This is the stuff that's important. Why am I sharing this with you? I'm sharing this with you because I've seen it help out my life. I've applied these laws to my life and felt internally, as well as saw physically, how these things could really, really improve your life. And the reason why I'm sharing it with you is, if you come to my channel, you ain't coming to my channel just to sit around and bullshit. You come to my channel to get value. You coming in my channel to increase your understanding, right? You're coming to my channel for some type of reason. Whatever the reason is, it don't matter. I appreciate you being here. But at the end of the day, the whole purpose of me making these videos out every single day is to serve you. That's it, right? Like, the whole purpose of me making these videos is to give you value and to help you become better after you leave my videos when compared to before you saw my videos, right? So that's the whole point, right? Each one teach one. We're always a student in life. I know for me, at least, I'm forever a student. I never feel like I've gotten to the point where I know it all and I don't need to learn nothing else and I don't need to get no new information. I've never, ever felt like that. I always feel like there's more to learn, there's more to apply, and there's always more growth, right? Because if you ain't growing, if your ass ain't growing, then essentially your ass is dying, right? Like, that's how this shit work in life. If your ass ain't growing mentally, spiritually, you know, growing in understanding, growing in knowledge, if you're not on that type of time, then what the fuck you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like really, like, what is the purpose of your existence at the end of the day if you're not trying to grow and become better? So we're going to get into the 12 universal laws right now. And without any further ado, I'm going to start off with the first law. Make sure to grab a pen and pad if you need, or you could continue to watch this video over and over again until these 12 laws sink into your mind. I'm telling you, these 12 laws are life-changing. And I'm going to briefly explain each and every one. The first universal law is the law of divine oneness. This law states that everything is connected to everything else. Even the galaxy, the stars, and cosmos are made up of the same stuff as the human body. Facts. Everything is connected. Even our consciousness as human beings is a part of a greater consciousness. Each and every individual's consciousness is a part of the God consciousness. So that's what the law of divine oneness is about. And everything is interconnected because of this principle, right? Where each individual is a part of a greater whole. Each individual consciousness is a part of a greater and much bigger whole consciousness, which is the God consciousness. So understanding that will make you realize the power of being unified, the power of being interconnected with other people, the power of being interconnected with the universe, even on a macro level. You know what I'm saying? So literally the things that make up the stars that you see in the sky, you talking about elements like carbon, right? You talking about these types of elements. Literally your body is made up of the same elements that the stars in the galaxy is made up of, right? And the planets and all that shit. That's why we need the sun. We can't survive without the sun. And the reason is because this law of divine oneness. Everything is interconnected. Everything kind of needs everything else to survive and to flourish. The second universal law is the law of vibration. This law states that all things and objects are in motion and vibrating at different frequencies. Nothing is actually still. On the atomic level, even your thoughts and feelings vibrate at a certain frequency. Negative thoughts vibrate at a low frequency, while powerful thoughts vibrate at a high frequency. So everything is vibrating. Even this remote that you see right here. This remote, it looked like it's still, right? It's a still object. But this remote right here is made up of atoms that are constantly vibrating and constantly moving. Same thing with the human body. The human body, we made up of atoms. And the atom, our body is constantly vibrating. Now, it doesn't matter. It could be this table, it could be a car, it could be a house. All things at the atomic level is vibrating and moving. Even though it may look still, it's not still. Every object, everything in this world, every person is vibrating at a certain frequency. So when we talk about frequency, this is where you got to be careful of the emotions and the energy that you're emitting. The emotion that you're putting out into the world, you got to be careful of, because that emotion, whether sad, mad, angry, those are low frequency, low vibrational frequencies. And when you have low vibrational emotions, what tends to happen is you attract low vibrational things into your life. Now, if you usually, and if most of the time you have high vibrational emotions, which means emotions of love, emotions of happiness, emotions of joy, emotions of enthusiasm, emotions of belief, emotions of faith, all of those emotions right there are positive emotions, high frequency emotions. So because you're vibrating at a high frequency, you're going to be able to attract high frequency things into your life, high frequency results. High frequency occurrences are going to happen to you because the emotions that you're putting out there is high frequency. So this is what the law of vibration is about. And this is why it's so important to be intentional with the way you're thinking. This is why it's so important to believe in yourself. This is why it's so important to have faith in yourself. This is why it's so important to have drive and have just unwavering faith. This is why it's so important, because when you beam with that high frequency energy, all that's going to be attracted to you is high frequency things. Now, if you're walking around with your head down and you walking around sad as fuck all the time and stressed out all the time, you'll find in your life that a whole bunch of low frequency shit just happens to find you. A whole bunch of low frequency motherfuckers just happen to be around you because you're vibrating at these low frequencies. So check your frequency, be mindful of your thoughts, be mindful of your emotions. The third universal law is the law of correspondence. And this law states that as above, so below, as within, so without. So once again, you know, whatever thoughts, feelings you possess within you, it's going to reflect in your outer world. It's going to reflect in your outer world. So essentially what the law of correspondence means is that everything on a micro level is also reflected on a macro level. Everything reflected on a macro level is also reflected on a micro level. Essentially, as an organism, what you really are as an organism, as a human being, your body, everything that embodies you and encapsulates you, everything that you really are is, you're a small representation of the entire universe. That's really what you are. You're a small representation of the entire universe. That's what you literally are. So the law of correspondence basically says that, right? Your body is a representation of the whole. And also whatever is going on within you, however you thinking, however your emotions are, is going to reflect in your outer world. And you may change your state of emotions today, right? You might improve your emotional state today, but your outer world may take time to change. So give yourself time. Even if you find that you've been vibrating at a high frequency and you're like, damn, man, why the fuck my life ain't changing? Why the fuck my life ain't improving? Why the fuck I ain't get that new job? You know, I'm pissed off. Yo, chill. Don't get too down on yourself. Life, the physical nature of your life has to catch up to your newfound emotion. The fact that you're now vibrating on a higher frequency, it may take time for the high frequency things to show up in your life. So allow yourself some time. Don't just be down and out just because, you know, the last week you've been vibrating at a high frequency and vibrating and feeling good emotions, and you're getting pissed off and you're getting discouraged because you don't see things showing up in your life yet. You don't see your dreams coming true yet. You got to give it time, right? But the more you continue to have those positive emotions, the more you continue to think positively and have faith in yourself, eventually the things in your outer world are going to reflect how you're feeling on the inside. Moving on to the fourth universal law, and this is the law of attraction. Of course, a lot of people know about this one, right? The law of attraction. I know I love this law, and a lot of people just tend to study this law alone. But this law of attraction, it kind of can fall under the umbrella of the other laws. But really what the law of attraction is about is this law. It states that like attracts like, right? So positive thoughts bring positive things into your life. So the law of attraction, what this basically means is, let's say you're a musician, right? And you're dropping music, you're taking action as a musician, you're doing what you got to do, you're putting your talent on display. What you're going to find is you're going to attract other talented musicians. You're going to find that you're going to attract other creatives and other people who like to make dope music. You're going to probably attract producers. You're probably going to attract a manager. You might fucking attract a record deal. But it's because you're doing things that are on that these other people, they're doing the same exact thing. So y'all are attracted to each other because y'all think in a very similar way. So that's what the law of attraction states. It states that when you put yourself around people who think like you move faster to your goals because y'all all have a similar vision. Y'all can all put y'all minds together, create a mastermind. And what's going to happen is this is going to create a momentum, and y'all will continue to attract things that are like y'all. So if you out there and you doing some shady shit every day for a living, or you doing some shit that deep inside ain't right every single day, what's gonna happen is you're gonna attract shady people into your life. If you out there robbing people, you might attract robbers. You might attract somebody that's gonna rob your ass. Because like attracts like. I know sometimes they say opposites attract, but in terms of getting to success, in terms of getting to your goals faster, you'll find that the way that you think is going to attract other people that think the same way, right? If you into sports and you love sports, you're probably going to attract conversations from other people who love sports and who love to talk about sports. It's going to be a natural thing. You know what I'm saying? If you like women and you into women, you're probably going to attract friends who are also into women and who like women. This is just how the way that life works. The law of attraction is always going on. It's constant, right? So if you're a person who you aspiring to become a doctor and you in college and you studying and you doing what you got to do, you're going to attract friends who are doctors. It's just how it goes. You're going to attract friends who are in the medical field. So that's how the law of attraction works. Like just by like thinking the way you do and just by taking certain actions, it's going to attract people who are on the same wavelength. So you see how the law of attraction, it connects to the law of vibration. It connects to all these other laws as well. So we're going to move on to the fifth law. This is the law of inspired action. And this law states that one must actively pursue their desires and take action to manifest their dreams. That's a good one. I like that one right there, right? And this one basically saying, like, don't be lazy. If you really want to accomplish something, you got to put your head down and get focused. You got to actually, you can't just believe in yourself. You got to actually take action as well. Believing in yourself ain't enough. Having faith ain't enough. You got to pair faith with taking action to actually create the life that you want, to create the results that you want, to manifest the dream that you want, to manifest the vision that you want, to manifest the house that you want, to manifest the car that you want. It comes down to you taking inspired action. And inspired action, that's something that's supposed to come from within. You're supposed to get a nudge from within that says, yo, do this, right? And every single day you're going to get that inspired action, and that's going to cause you to take action and do something that's going to get you closer to your goal, get you closer to where you want to be in life, get you closer to your desires. So that's the 5th law. You know what I mean? Understanding these laws, I'm telling you, is priceless, baby. And drop a comment below. Let me know how you feel about these laws, these universal laws right here. And these laws date back from ancient times. These ain't no new laws. These laws been around from ancient times, and they've been passed down from extremely wise people. I'm talking about from ancient Egyptian times, even from before those times. You know, these laws have been passed down and have been applied to life, and literally people in secret societies. You talking about the elite of the elite in the world, the most elite people you could think of in the world. They apply this knowledge, they apply this information in order to have control over the masses, in order to have control of the globe, of the whole entire world, because they know these laws. Now, of course, they know much more than just these laws, right? People in these secret societies, they know more than just these 12 universal laws, but this is like the basis of it. This is like the basis of manifestation. This is like the basis of, you know, being a true visionary and turning something that's just in your mind and bringing it into the physical realm. This is like the base of it. So this is the basics right here. You got to understand this in order to get to the next level. You got to understand this in order to build a strong foundation and build it up. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to move on to the next law. And this is the law of, this next law right here is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy. This law states that energy is never destroyed. It can only transfer and or change form. In other words, life isn't about what happens to you. It's more so about how you react to what happens to you. I like that one right there. That's the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. It states that energy is never destroyed. It can only transfer and change forms. So what that basically means is, that's pretty self-explanatory. So if somebody comes up to you and they got an attitude with you and they on some rah shit, about to damn near, you know, they cursing you out type shit. Now, let's say this person is a customer at your job and they coming at you on some rah crazy shit, damn near in your face. Now, remember, you at your job. You can either choose to transmutate that person's negative energy into something positive, or you can give them the very same energy they're giving you. Which choice is a better choice? I think personally, if you in the workplace, in a professional setting especially, it's best to transmutate that energy into something positive. So you may say something like along the lines of, "Sir, please, can you just keep a distance out of my personal space, please? As far as our work protocol goes and our work procedure, this is my job and this is how I have to do X, Y, Z." You know what I'm saying? So you're calming the person down without telling them to calm down. So what you just did in that situation is you transmutated that person's energy from a negative to a positive, because now they're going to calm down. They're going to realize they looking stupid, you know, or maybe not. Maybe you try that method. It's not getting through to them. You might have to fucking call the security guard at your job. You might have to call your supervisor at your job. Whatever you got to do, but you're not going to fight with them, right? You're not going to argue with them and curse them out on your job, because you're going to lose your job. So this is why I say in this law is very powerful to understand, because it makes you realize that life ain't about what happens to us. It's about how we react to what happens to us. 90% of life is not what happens to us. 90% of life is how we react to what happens to us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might go up to a female, for example, and you might like her and you might try to get her number. And she like, "Man, get out my face, man. I ain't fucking with you. Get out my face, bruh. I don't like you. Get out my face." You can choose to call her a bitch. You can choose to curse her out. You can choose to do all kinds of nasty stuff. Or you could say, "You know what? I understand, beautiful. You probably just having a bad day today. I'll try another time when you're in a better spirits or when you're in a better mood." You know what I'm saying? You can tell her something to make her really consider you and be like, "You know what? That guy was a real gentleman right there. He really spoke to me with respect. Even though I came at him a little nasty, even though I came at him a little agitated, you know what? I'm thinking about him now, and he was actually a real cool dude. So that's all transmutation of energy, because just because that person is coming at you negative, it doesn't mean you have to respond to them negatively. Just because that person is coming at you unprofessionally and they're coming at you mean and they're a customer, you got to still keep in mind, this person is a customer. This doesn't mean I'm going to respond to them negatively, right? And then when you understand the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, what it is you basically understand how to manipulate energy. You understand how to transform negative energy into something positive. That's what the key of this energy is. Now, I'm not saying not to defend your fucking self. That's not what I'm saying. If somebody hitting you, if somebody punch you in the face, if somebody's attacking you, you better fuck their ass up. You better do what you got to do. You better transmutate that energy into something that's going to save your life, and transmutate that energy into something that's going to protect you and get you back home safely to your wife, to your kids, to your husband, whatever you got to do. So I'm not saying to be no pussy. I'm not saying to be no punk, but I am saying in most situations that you encounter in life, it will be much better if you diffuse the situation, if you find ways to lessen the fire, so to speak, if you find ways to lower down the flame, so to speak, because you can add fuel to the fire. Now, when you add fuel to the fire, that's just increasing that negative energy. But you could dissipate that fire, and now what happens is you just transmutated that energy. And when you start to actually apply this to your life, because you got a lot of crazy motherfuckers out there in the world. You got a lot of people out there that'll say crazy shit to you to get you pissed off. You got a lot of people out there that'll do crazy shit that'll get you pissed off. Trust me, I fucking know. I know. Trust me, I know. There's some people out there that you gotta just grip your fist and like you want to hurt them, but you got to get that thought in your mind, and you got to remember this law right here. You got to remember the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, and you got to ask yourself, literally ask yourself in that moment, say, how can I transmutate this energy? How can I change the form of this energy into something positive? Even though this person's coming at me negative right now, how can I react to them in a way that transforms this exchange into a positive exchange, where this person can become a better person, this person can learn something? Because all that's going to happen is, if this person is coming at you rah, 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 and you're not giving them the energy they want, because people who do that, usually they want to fucking piss you off. Usually they want to get under your skin. Usually people who do that, usually they trying to get you all riled up. But when you don't give them what they want, what happens is they end up looking fucking stupid, because you just transmutated their energy and they don't even know how you did it. But when you understand this law, you'll find that a lot of situations, you're going to be able to de-escalate it. Now, moving on to the 7th universal law. This is the law of cause and effect. This one's pretty self-explanatory. I love this law right here, though. The law of cause and effect. This law states that every action, no matter how small, has a corresponding reaction. This can be seen as the law of karma. So the law of cause and effect basically means that no matter how small the action is that you're taking towards your goal, it still can have big effects in life. So you got to be careful of the things you do in life, because the law of cause and effect says that basically you reap what you sow, right? Because you planted the seed and because you watered that seed, the effect of that is going to be a nice, beautiful flower. The effect of that is going to be a nice big tree. The effect of that is going to be a plant, right? This is how the law of cause and effect works. So be careful of the things that you do, because whatever you put out there into the universe, remember, it's coming back to you in some way, shape, or form. It's coming back to you in some way, shape, or form, no matter how small or how big the action is that you take. Like, you could go out there and you could say something really mean and really nasty to somebody, but that can make that person sad, make them depressed, and then later on they can go home and they can treat somebody very bad in their house, all because they mad at something you said. They could go off and go to work and curse somebody out because of something you said, and next thing you know, they could get fired and lose their job, and now they don't have no way to pay their bills. They don't have no way to keep a roof over their kids and their family's head. You see how one simple decision, one simple cause caused a domino effect to happen? That's how real the law of cause and effect is. You ever lined up a bunch of dominoes one after another? Right? No matter how far you line up them dominoes, what happens when you knock the first domino down? You don't got to do nothing else after that. You don't got to even touch it no more. It's going to be a ripple effect. They call it the domino effect, right? It's going to be a domino effect where one after another domino is going to keep dropping and keep falling. That's how intense this law is. And this is why we got to be careful of what we do in life. We got to be careful of the way we talk to people. We got to be careful of the way we treat people. We got to be careful of, you know, just whatever we putting out into the world, because the law of cause and effect is always going on. So now, number 8, this is the law of compensation, which is similar to the law of cause and effect. The law of compensation, this law states that the universe always compensates, providing balance and justice. So put good things out there and you will get good things back. I'm telling you, these laws are important, y'all. I'm telling y'all, like, these laws right here. Drop a comment below if you feel me. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you fuck with these laws right here. I'm telling you, understanding these laws, you're gonna, and applying them, right? Not just understanding them, but applying them. You're gonna see drastic changes in your life over the next few months and the next few years to come. But you gotta keep reminding yourself of these laws. You gotta keep these laws fresh in your mind all the time. The law of compensation. So this law states that the universe always compensates. So you may be at a point in your life where, you know, you're doing all of these good deeds. You're doing the right thing over and over again. And you know in your heart you're doing the right thing. But you like, damn, man. But my life ain't changing. You know, my life don't seem to be getting no better. Like, damn, like, you know, when are my blessings gonna start to show up? You might be at a point in your life where you feel like that, like, yo, when are my dreams gonna start to come true? When are things gonna get better? When am I, you're gonna be wondering and looking for it because you know you're doing good things every day. Be faithful, my brother. Be faithful, my sister, because the law of compensation doesn't fail. The law states that the universe always compensates, providing balance and justice. We could say the universe or God. God always compensates, providing balance and justice. So if you continue to do those good deeds and you continue to do good things, what's eventually the universe gotta pay you back. The universe gotta pay you back those good things that you're putting out into the world. So have faith, my brother. That's what that law says. Have faith. Now, if you're putting out negative shit every day, I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. We're going on to the 9th law, the law of relativity. This law states that everything is relative and not absolute, meaning that what may be a lot to one person may not be a lot to another person. This is why it's not good to compare your life to someone else's, because you don't know what problems they face. So the law of relativity is what I just said, right? It basically means that your perspective is just your perspective, but it's not the end all be all. So you might say, if I just had $1 million, I'd be happy. I'd be set for life. But there's some people out there who can't even survive off of having $1 million a month. There's some people out there who, if they had $1 million, that same $1 million that would change your entire life and make you feel rich and make you happy, them having $1 million left in their bank account, they be ready to jump on a train station, on the train tracks, and fucking kill themselves. So the law of relativity, you know, who is that a lot of money to? You may feel like you're going through some serious problems in your life right now. You may feel like your world is crashing down. And then you have one of your friends talk to you about their situation in their life. And now all of a sudden you looking at your problems. You like, damn, my problems ain't nowhere near as serious as my friend's problems. And now you have a newfound perspective on your problems in your life. Now you're looking at your problems. You like, damn, you know what? My life ain't even as bad as I fucking thought it was. My life ain't even as bad as I think it was. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what the law of relativity shows you. Like it's dependent on what you're comparing it to. You know what I'm saying? You might look at a skyscraper building and be like, oh, that's a super, super tall building. But then you put it next to the Burj Khalifa out in Dubai, which is the tallest building in the world. And now all of a sudden that skyscraper building that you thought was tall ain't even tall no more. So this is what the law of relativity states, that nothing is absolute. Nothing is absolute. So this is why it's important not to compare your life to other people's lives, because you don't know what they got going on. You don't know what problems they facing. You don't know what they have to do to get to where they are. You know what I'm saying? So that's a very important law right there. And I love that law of relativity because it just makes you feel confident knowing that even the problems that you face in your life is really a potential for you to grow. It's really providing a opportunity for you to learn something. It's really providing a stage for you to get, you know, to get some type of wisdom to overcome that situation. That's why the law of relativity, and it makes you more just appreciative of life, right? You start to be appreciative of where you at in life, where you understand the law of relativity. You might be feeling like you don't got no money, but you forgot the fact that you was able to eat food today. You forgot the fact that you going to sleep with your belly full. Yeah, you may not have money after paying the bills, but your belly's full. You don't got to worry about how to get food. And you got people in Africa or people in other poor countries who don't even know where their next meal is going to come from. They haven't had a meal in the last 3 days. You get what I'm saying? So this is why the law of relativity is important. We're moving on now to the 10th universal law, and this is the law of polarity right here. This law states that everything has an opposite. So there's a dual effect to everything. There's a hot versus cold. There's a night versus day. There's a positive versus negative. There's light versus dark, and so on and so forth. Literally everything has an opposite pole. There's a north pole, there's a south pole. Everything has an opposite. So even within us as people, right? We have a good side and we have a bad side. You know what I'm saying? We have a left hand, we have a right hand. The law of polarity is everywhere in the world. There's opposites to everything. Good and bad. Positive, negative. Everything has an opposite side to it. The 11th law. Here go the 11th law. This is the law of rhythm. I really like this one. I really like the law of rhythm right here, because this law right here, understanding this law will make you extremely wise and just have like a good head on your shoulder, because you'll understand life a lot more. The law of rhythm. This law states that life moves in waves and peaks and valleys. Everything flows in and out, rises and falls. There are cycles and patterns in life and nature. So what this means is that if things are going great in your life or things are going bad, let me start off with the bad. Let's say things are going bad in your life. Just keep doing the right thing, because eventually what happens is the pendulum is going to swing, and that time and that era, that good phase of life is about to come into your life. You're going through all this bad shit right now, but when you get through it, what's on the other side of this bad shit is a bunch of good things that's about to happen in your life. That's what the law of rhythm says, because life is like that, right? We have night, but then we know we don't got to worry, because in the morning, what do we have? We have day. So once you understand the law of rhythm, what starts to happen is when bad things are happening in your life, you won't get too sad. When great things are happening in your life, you won't get too excited. So you start to have this happy medium emotion somewhere in the middle, where you get to a point where you can't get depressed and you can't become like overly ecstatic and overly excited, because being overly excited and having overconfidence, that can also fuck you up too. Being overly confident can be just as bad as being too depressed or being depressed. So there's a middle ground in life of emotion that is the best way to be, right? So I love that. The law of rhythm is probably my favorite law right there. Understanding the ebb and flow of life, and understanding that there's highs and there's lows, right? And somebody that goes up high very, very fast at a young age before they have wisdom, beware, be careful, because the next thing you know, they drop down is going to be just as hard and just as low as they went up high. So that's what the law of rhythm states. You know what I'm saying? So most people want to just take off like a rocket. But when you take off like a rocket and you don't have no wisdom, you don't have no understanding of life, you're not learning any gems on the way up. You know, you're not learning about the 12 universal laws on the way up when you get up there too fast. So what happens is, naturally, you don't have the mindset to sustain that elevation. So naturally, what's going to happen is your lifestyle is going to come crashing down. Just as fast as you went up, it's going to feel like just as fast as you came crashing down. But when you understand the law of rhythm, you go up high, you take off, but you understand to just relax. You understand to be humble. You understand to appreciate everything that you're learning and live in the present moment. And you understand that, look, there will come a time in my life where things may not be as high as they are right now. And you could come to terms with that. You can accept it before that time even comes. And most importantly, you can prepare yourself so that when that time comes, the storm isn't too long, right? Once you've been through the storm a couple times, you start to develop mental armor. You start to develop spiritual armor. Like, yo, I've seen this movie before. I've been here before. I went through this problem in this rough patch before. All that means is I'm gonna get through it quicker this time. All that means is we're gonna trailblaze through this storm this time, and we're gonna get to the good part again real quick. You know what I'm saying? So the law of rhythm basically states that in life there's highs and lows, and it's inevitable for everybody. There's highs and lows for everybody, and the higher you are, if you're not careful, is that the lower you gonna fall. So if you're having a gradual build in your life, if you're gradually building, I'm telling you, that's the best way to be. That's one of the best ways to be. I'm not saying that, look, everybody want to get rich fast. Everybody want to have success fast. I'm not saying that's not good. All power to you. If you're getting rich fast, that's great. That's awesome. You know what I mean? I'm clapping it up. I'm congratulating you all the way to the fucking bank. But understand that on a gradual build, there are certain things you will learn on that journey that you won't learn when you build too fast. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's bad to get rich quick. I'm not saying it's bad to have success quick. I'm just saying that there are things you will learn on a gradual build that you won't learn if you take off very, very fast. So here go to the last law, the last universal law right here. This is the last law. It's called the law of gender. This law states that there's a masculine and feminine side to everything in life and on earth. This is necessary for balance in life. For example, males and females, right? Everything has a masculine and a feminine. You got the feminine soil and you got the masculine seed, right? You got the feminine egg cell and you got the masculine sperm cell. Everything, the law of gender is always in operation, and understanding this will help you to understand the yin and the yang of life. You know what I'm saying? Like the yin and yang symbol. You know the yin yang symbol, right? Where it's one part that's mostly black, and then a small little circle of white. Then the other part is mostly white. Then there's a small circle of black. You know, that could be likened to the male versus female thing. It's just balance, right? Life is about balance at the end of the day. And you will see this in all things. So even in males and men, there are feminine traits. Even in females, there are masculine traits. Obviously, in most males, they're dominated by male traits. And in most females, they're dominated by feminine traits. But we have an essence of the opposite in both of us, right? And even as a man, you can't be 100% masculine all the time. You're going to have to be feminine towards your kids. You may have to be feminine towards your wife. You may have to be feminine towards, you know what I'm saying? Like towards your mother, towards your parents. In certain situations, you will need to tap into that femininity, right? Femininity. I think that's a word, right? I think it's a word. But anyway, you will need to tap into that feminine side in order to get a better results. Not everything is suited for the masculine side. Not everything is suited for the aggressive side. And the same thing with women, right? There will be times where she may need to tap into her masculine side a little more. There might be situations where she may need to defend herself and become a little masculine. Not saying that she wants to live in that place all the time, but this yin and yang, the law of gender is always going on in life. We can see it in nature. We can see it with the planets. We can see it with the subconscious versus the conscious mind. It doesn't matter. You see it all over life. So without any further ado, y'all, that was the 12 universal laws of nature and the laws of the universe. Understanding these laws, I'm telling you, once you start to apply these laws, you're going to see things in your life really, really improve and get better. One last thing before I go, if you want to support my channel, all you got to do is buy some merch. You'll see some products below this video if you want to buy some merch. Once you purchase the merchandise, it will be shipped to your house in a timely manner. Also, if you want to get connected with me, all you got to do is check out all the links in the description below this video. If you want to get connected with me on Instagram, if you want to get connected with me on Facebook, that's all you got to do. If you want to get on my email list, once again, make sure to go to the ebook link down below in the description and enter in your email. If you're not a part of my list yet, I'm telling you, you want to be a part of that list, because I'm dropping gems. I'm giving value, and I'm giving. That's what I do. I come here and I give every day. And that's what it's all about, the 300 to Freedom movement. Each one teaches one, and that's how we're going to elevate as a people. We can't elevate by hiding the knowledge and only keeping it to ourselves. We can only elevate and help the world become a better place, help each other become better by sharing the knowledge with each other, right? With the people, because information is fucking priceless. Knowledge is priceless. You know, you can't grow without knowledge. You can't grow without understanding. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to stay in the same position, not elevating, not improving your life, if you don't want to grow, if you don't want knowledge. So what I'm looking for is a bunch of knowledge seekers. I'm looking for truth seekers. I'm looking for people who enjoy these kinds of videos, people who enjoy learning about the 12 universal laws, people who enjoy learning about the 7 hermetic principles, which I'll talk about in another video. But I'm not talking about that right now. But without any further ado, make sure to like this video if you appreciate this information, if you appreciated it. Make sure to drop a comment below. And also, excuse me, I'm twisting my words, getting all tongue-tied right now. My fault. I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a little tired right now. So please cut me some slack. But yeah, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Make sure to hit the bell symbol so you can be notified whenever I release new videos. I would appreciate that. This is your boy, Jon Belcher, a.k.a. Jadiscreet. You already know the name Jadiscreet. It's because I make hip-hop music. I'm going to see you at the top. Peace. I love y'all.